When I finally became a member for the first time in late 2006, fletching was the first skill I started grinding. It wasn't an easy skill back then. Logs were much harder to obtain because there was no grand exchange, and the only way to profit was to pick your own flax and camelot, make your own bowstrings, and then alch your bows. I don't know if you've ever alched for 10 hours straight, but it's not an enjoyable experience. Today, with the world record of only 2.5 hours, fletching is the 10th most common Skillcape in Runescape. It's profitable from level 1, and there's an awesome new minigame in Varlamore called Vale Totems. I'm not going to get this Skillcape in 2 hours because I don't have the billions of GP required to do that, but I am going to finish what I started all those years ago. Today, on Elder's Legacy, join me as I journey from 1 to 99 fletching, 20 years after I started. I had a little bit of a head start because I had to get level 10 fletching for the Tourist Trap quest. So I started my journey to 99 by carving longbows from regular logs while I watched the latest Theoatrix 1 to 99 video and used the fletching calculator to plan out the following days of work. You're going to lose about 15k going from level 1 to level 40 if you just buy logs from the GE to make unstrung bows like I did. It's faster, but if you're on a budget, I recommend getting your woodcutting level to about 50 and fletching everything you chop. If you do this, you'll have about a 500k cash stack, which will set you up nicely to buy willow and maple logs that it'll take to get from level 40 to level 70. Going from 40 to 70 will profit you about another 1 million GP. Once at level 70, you'll have the cash stack needed to buy 1 to 2,000 U logs and bowstrings at a time, giving you a solid foundation to get to 99 fletching. After getting to level 71, I had a good stack of U longbows to use at the Vale Totems minigame, so it was time for the Children of the Sun quest. I spoke with Alina in the Varick Square about a visiting delegation from the far western lands of Varlamore. Then I followed a suspicious man, snitched on him and his cohorts, and finally aided in an interrogation where Prince Arkan low-key threatened to burn a man alive. My help pleased the scary prince, who invited me to fly on the back of a Quetzal and visit Varlamore whenever I wished. Varlamore is wonderful, especially with the 117 HD plugin on RuneLite. The beautiful Romanesque aqueduct, the rolling greenscape, hills and valleys, not to mention tons of new content. I ran west, and then north, avoided a menacing looking white jaguar, and finally arrived at Auburn Vale to complete the Vale Totems minigame introduction by speaking to Ranulf. In this minigame, you build totem poles for the native population of walking trees called Ents. Ents pollinate the totems, leaving behind offerings which you can rummage through for fletching related loot. The minigame has a completion log with 2 items that are essential for the grind to 99 fletching, the fletching knife and the Bow String Spool. I got the Bow String Spool almost immediately. This spool allows you to load it with 250 bowstrings, and then by combining it with other spools, it can hold up to 100,000 bowstrings. Having this allows you to cut 26 logs and then immediately string them without banking again, dramatically reducing the time it takes to get the Skillcape. Next, I got the fletching knife. This knife reduces the time it takes to fletch an item by 1 tick, or 0.6 seconds, reducing the time it takes to cut an inventory of logs by 15 seconds. The fletching knife and bowstring spool together reduces the time to 99 by about 24 hours. This is an insane upgrade, meaning that even if you don't find the Vale Totems minigame as fun as I did, it's still a must-play. Once I had those 2 collection log items, I was ready to get back to cutting and stringing bows. The fastest way to 99 is by fletching bolts, but I wanted to profit off of fletching, so I chose the slightly longer route of making U and magic longbows. Altogether, I set out to cut and string over 20,000 U bows and 50,000 magic longbows. After getting to 85 fletching to make magic longbows, I was missing my Ent buddies, Billy Bob and Jimothy. So I headed back to Greenlog Vale Totems and used some of the U longbows I had made. I obtained nearly 18,000 offerings going from level 85 to 86, and then about 6,000 more just to finish up a stack of bows. I got about 150k experience per hour and profited nearly 5 million GP. By the end, I obtained 4 fletching knives, 3 bowstring spools, which I combined for one spool that holds 5,000 strings, 146 Ent branches, which I fletched into 14,600 atlatl dart shafts, and one green men mask, which is purely cosmetic. After greenlogging the Vale, it was time for the final, seemingly never-ending grind. Bow after bow, inventory after inventory. Cut, string, bank. 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 At level 97, you reach the biggest challenge of them all. Going from 97 to 98 is over 1.1 million XP, or close to 6,100 magic longbows. And then there's no real reward. Just level 98. It's anticlimactic. All of that work is not actually achieving any notable goal. The only thing that makes it worth it is knowing that you tapped that like button. But enough of that doubt. Enough of that negativity. The only thing that mattered was getting to 99. And I had to keep my resolve. Over 1.2 million XP to go, and the only way to get there was one inventory at a time. I stopped looking at the XP bar. I stopped looking at the never-ending stack of logs remaining in my bank. The only thing that mattered was the next step, the next click, the next bow, the next string, the next and final level. After dozens of hours of purposely and mindlessly grinding, it finally happened. That classic fireworks display exploded across my screen, and I'd made it. "99 Fletching, and my first Skillcape. A dream that began over 20 years ago, and I realized it after 4 days and 17 hours of playtime. Oh, and I profited over 20 mil, which is definitely going to go a long way toward trimming the Fletching cape. Subscribe to follow the journey to the second of 24 Skillcapes. And until next time, this is Elder's Legacy.